Hey, welcome to the Round the Corner. We're here with some mid-season information football here for you guys. Man, we got a lot of things to touch on. It's a great week right now. We got our Tigers headed up there to Kentucky. Man, we got mid-season rankings going on for you guys. Well, maybe not rankings, but we're going to talk about some good football that's been played up until this fall. And we're going to talk about some of our great guys that we got already committed for the Louisiana Gridiron Football Bowl game. That's going to be this December 30th at Southeastern Louisiana. Man, we got some great things going on. Hammond, we are coming down there. They're already excited. Man, we got guys down there already spreading the word. Companies on board. Man, everybody's getting excited because they know that the season is midpoint. It's the second season for a lot of guys. I've been telling my team, this is everything we've done up to this point has been preseason. Now we're getting ready for district. There's a lot of district play going on. There's a lot of great football.
This weekend's an opening district play.
Weather getting cool outside. It's football time for real right now.
Right. Before we get started though, we got to mention the elephant in the room. This week LSU's going up to Kentucky.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
I remember, I know where I was at in 2002 whenever, somebody went to Kentucky and, upset.
I know where I was too.
where were you at?
Man, I was in Lexington actually. Yeah, man, back then that was a great time, and I reflect on that pretty much every year around this time that they talk about the Bluegrass Miracle on one of the greatest events I've been around in the sport, basically, and having a role in that and playing that role. I get asked about it all the time. I get to hear stories about it all the time, where everybody was, how they missed it, or was right there about to walk out the room, or was actually at the game. So I done heard stories and thousands of them, and every year around this time I get geared up to hear about.
You never still talk about this time of year because hey, Dave, you remember what we were doing a couple years ago?
Yeah, actually I saw him 2 years ago at a track meeting, and man, we sat there and talked about it, and we basically shared some of the same things he's been hearing over the last 19 years since the play happened. So man, getting to relive it, it actually gets better and better every year. I saw a new angle of it that I haven't seen since 2002 when I did the interview with Jacob Hester. So man, I'm getting to see new stories and new views of it and all kind of things like that right now.
Well, LSU's going over to Lexington today. Actually, I think they're flying out today.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is your thoughts about LSU playing Kentucky this week? I mean, Kentucky had a big game last week against Florida.
Right.
Now they're taking on Kentucky. What is your thoughts on
It's
this?
not the old matchups. I mean, going into Kentucky, we was always heavily favored. I think right now, just what things that been going on, they playing at a high level, like you just mentioned. They coming off a great game with Florida. So I think that the tide's kind of turning right now. But I think that if we go play football, do the thing that we need to do. I think we kind of got some of that identity, even though we didn't win the game last week. We kind of got some of our identity down early in the game. We kind of lost it there at times. We still need to run the football better, but I think that's going to continue to get better and better as we gel together and keep getting this identity together. So hopefully we don't need no Bluegrass Miracles, though.
Well, last week, LSU looked really good at times against Auburn. I mean, Auburn's a quality opponent, big SEC foe. So I mean, you got they Max threw the ball really well in that game up until the last little series, but he did a great job in that game. The running back wise, yeah, you're right. We need to pick up the run game. But who's really having a great year, and that is our boy Damone
Clark in the middle, man. He's doing some great things. Defense picking it up,
yeah,
and starting to gel, and you start to see those guys flying around, doing some things. But I mean, when we keeping them on the field, and you can't run the ball, and you can't get that time of possession like you're looking for, those guys tend to wear down as the game going on. Now, especially now we're playing SEC football, where they got the same type talent we have. So it's going to be about time of possession, keeping them off the field, being able to run the football. So our O-line just got to keep chiming at it, keep getting on the same page, keep trying to find that rotation of 5 guys or 6 or 7 guys that you're going to use for them to get the chemistry that they need. Right. So hopefully, man, in this second half, that they can turn this thing around and we can see a new offense or at least a new run game.
Let's move over to high school football. I mean, now we've got some good, like you mentioned earlier, we're going into district play this week. We already went to 2 games last night. We got more games tonight. Me and Dell, we're going to be at Southern Lab. Sorry, we won't be at your game.
It's all right. It's all right.
But we got Josh. I think Josh is going to be at your game.
Correct. Okay.
But me and Dell is going to be at the Southern Lab Fair Day game.
Yeah, that's going to be a big one.
That's going to be a big one. Not any bigger than yours. No disrespect, but with that game, we've got a lot of guys that we've invited to the bowl game, and we definitely want to see those guys play. You know, they got some great kids at both those schools. Your game's gonna be a great game tonight. Who are you guys playing again?
Man, we got Dutchtown.
And it's
This will be
homecoming.
our first home game for the whole year.
Oh wow!
Just due to the hurricanes coming through, we actually, when the schedule started, we had 3 home games to start the season. All those games being canceled, and having to pick up one game there against U High, and then having to just jump right in there and playing a West Monroe team on the road and a Zachary team on the road. So we finally get to come home, and all of our fans are excited, our staff excited.
This is a true homecoming.
Our boys, yeah, it's a true homecoming, man. We at week 5, and it's our first home game.
Right.
So, man, we definitely are excited about it. I think they're going to start the tailgating early up there right now. So, man, it's going to be football in the atmosphere up there.
You know, we were talking about the other night after one of your games that you haven't had a great season so far, and this was a great stat you brought up to me. You guys already played like 7 games, in the last 2 years.
Correct.
So your guys are still young.
Well, yeah. If you were looking at the win-loss column, obviously we are not where we want to be or where we saw ourselves in the beginning of this season or coming into this season. But we haven't played the schedule that we had set to play either. We had to pick up games. We missed, like those first 3 home games that we had set to play. So, but I feel good about where we are. We haven't played any slouches. Everybody we played this year thus far have been top-ranked teams in their divisions. Probably going to win their districts. I mean, U High going to. Them or Master Prep going to win that district. We play both of them. We play Master Prep in the Jamboree, and play U High week 2 after missing 12 days, and play West Monroe. They're probably going to win their district and be one of the top teams in 5A going in, and Zachary is probably pretty much going to probably win that district. Them or Scotlandville. So you got those guys, and so you got some real where you are right now. And no false securities going in. Our guys' spirits are up right now going into this game, knowing that they can play with anybody in the state right now.
Right. So I know that a lot of people watching that might be from Alexander might be saying, well, wait a second, what about Ash? They play in the same district as West Monroe.
Yeah,
that's a tough district.
Hey, well, I just got to go off the tradition, or what it is, man. Those guys are also playing some real good football.
Well, speaking of Ash, Ash has had a great season so far. I think they're undefeated up to this point as well. Thomas Bachman's really done a great job this year, putting together a good program out of Ash. So, good program.
Yeah.
West Monroe, again, they're back. They've only lost 2 games so far this year, one at Catholic, and I can't remember who the second one was.
Last week to Never, so that meant they playing top ranked teams every week too as well. And that's what I see about the good traditional teams. They schedule those hard games, win or lose early, and just to let their guys see where they are, see what they need to work on. Because and if you get a chance to see them later on in the playoffs, the rule is it's always hard to beat a team twice.
Right. So, all right, let's move on to the bowl game, Coach. We got the bowl game's going to be this year, and like you said earlier, it's going to be at Southeast Louisiana University. It's going to be. They're going to show up on the December.
I'm excited about that one. I'm excited about that.
Coach, I'm telling you, I
Strawberry,
think both are.
Strawberry Stadium, baby.
Strawberry Division I school this year.
Yes, indeed.
So we moved it up. We moved it to Southeastern because the last year we had it at Louisiana College, we almost sold out. It was almost a packed house.
Right.
So we wanted to expand this year. We want to bring in some extra events for the bowl game, and make it bigger, make it more inclusive for the town, get the whole city behind it. Me and Dell, we've had an opportunity to go meet with the Chamber of Commerce. Melissa at the Chamber of Commerce has been nothing but helpful, and excited about this game coming in. Deanne over with the Hampton Inn, she's been helpful, trying to help us get a lot of stuff set up. So the city is really behind this thing. The mayor's excited of Hammond. Everybody, I went and talked to Andy over the athletic department. The athletic department's excited about this because it's gonna bring a lot of notoriety back to Southeastern. A lot of public, eyes on Southeastern.
Right. Well, when you could bring those kind of events into your city around Christmas time, people spending money already anyway. I think that ignite the whole, city, the whole town. Everybody get a chance to get a little piece of the pie, as well as bringing people into the city to just see all the great things that they have going on there.
Right, and so we've decided to add an extra event. We're going to have the Battle of Bands is going to be the halftime show. We're currently inviting 5 bands to come compete for the halftime show. The winner of the Battle of Bands will receive a $500 check from you and me, and so it's going to be a great fundraiser for those schools. It's going to be based off of the crowd noise. So
Correct.
if you're a band coming, you better bring
some crowd.
You better bring your home crowd.
Yes, indeed.
That morning, me and Coach Kramer, we sit down and talk. He's like, well, what else can we do to bring in? Because we've got a lot of parents saying, it's just for seniors. No, going out with my kid to come and experience this. So what we did is we sat down and talked, and we're going to have a high school camp that morning. We've talked to over a dozen college coaches across the country. We've got 4 guaranteed going to be there that morning. The head coach from Arkansas Monticello, head coach from Louisiana College, head coach from LaGrange College, and the offensive coordinator from Gulf Coast Community College, one from each level, D2, D3, NAIA, and JUCO. They're all going to be there for sure. The rest of them, they're kind of going to phase in and out that morning. So we're going to hold a camp that morning, and that way all the underclassmen from 8th grade through 11th grade can come in and experience a college camp. You're going to have college coaches there. You're going to be a college camp. Afterwards, all the ones that pre-registered for that camp, they're going to get to go have lunch with these college coaches. So these four head coaches, they're going to go in there and they're going to talk to them about the do's and don'ts of recruiting. What does colleges look for with recruiting? What are they looking at? Are they just looking at a football player? Or are they looking at the whole student athlete? What does each division represent? What does it mean to go play D3? What does it mean to go play D2 or NAIA or JUCO? What kind of work ethic are they looking for? So these coaches are going to each present a 30-minute presentation at lunch. And then that evening, every kid that comes that's registered for the camp is going to have a free admission to the bowl game. And that way they can see the seniors get it done on the field. And that way they know what they got to work for to be able to be invited to that bowl game.
So I think that's big. That's always trying. If you're not getting better, then you're getting worse. So we're basically trying to get more information out to these guys.
Right.
A lot of these guys over the last couple of years have missed opportunities. Due to COVID and due to just other things that's out of their control. The camp's been limited, even though they did kind of open back up this summer. A lot of colleges started opening them back up, but a lot of those guys still missed a whole lot of time and opportunities right now. So that's why this bowl game is big for the seniors, because they're really in a bad boat right now, because a lot of the guys that got to keep scholarship for over the last couple of years, and a lot of schools not even having that many scholarship offers, or not being able to see these guys in their junior year and being able to that's when you normally start your recruiting process, 10th and junior year. So a lot of that's been shut down for these guys. So we're doing it for those seniors, and then being able to have those other guys, those younger 8th through 11th grade guys come in, see what it's all about now that it is opening back up. So when it comes around to the spring and summertime, they would already have some experience going into it, some knowledge about what's going on, what schools I might need to be going to for as colleges, by having those colleges from all different levels come in and talk to those guys. So
well, we were talking. Me and you and Dale, Coach Kramer last night was talking about this, and this is not a simple fix from what happened last year. This is a 4-year fix, because it's going to take 4 years to get back on a good college,
on a good cycle.
Good cycle. Because what happened last year, every senior in college football received an extra year of eligibility,
right?
Which means now they have fewer scholarships to offer those freshmen.
Correct.
And so as you continue to grow, it's going to take 4 years to try to catch back up to be a natural recruiting cycle. So where you may have had 25 scholarships, you may only be giving out 15 to 20.
So they also changed other rules that can still help some of those guys that may not fall where they want to fall, or may not just have the space. Because even if you go to a college where you think that you may be, a level up or whatever, if you go and do that and show that, you got the transfer portal now. So you can just transfer out of there without any penalties for that first time.
That's exactly what me and Coach Kramer was talking about.
For that first time, so you can still get back where you want to be, back on track. So you can, even though you might have to take an alternative route, it could still get you to where you really want to be at the end of the day.
That's exactly what me and Coach Kramer was talking about 2 days ago, 2 or 3 days ago. Like we had a linebacker a couple years back. He was 6'4", 230, 240. He ran a 4.5 40. Clocked him myself, 4.5 40. He was an SEC type linebacker. However, he took that offer to go to SEC as a walk-on and was not able to push through that walk-on status. However, he had gone to a JUCO, to a D3 school.
Right.
He could have eventually been an All-American D3 player, and yes, he would have transferred to
been able to transfer up
and get that big time
scholarship.
scholarship.
We're seeing those kind of things. So
Jabril Cox was a great example of that last year. Coming from North Dakota State to LSU,
and coming up. So really, where that was the most far-fetched, where you can always hear about guys going D1 going down. You were never hearing about guys signing down, going up, but that is the trend now. Just because of the transfer portal, guys don't have to worry about sitting out, years and losing eligibility So I mean, I think we're going to see a lot of that going on.
Well, that mentality D1 or bust is now been busted.
You've been busted.
Because
it's
now,
a new day.
Because now you can go and play D2, D3, NAI, JUCO, and if you really are that SEC type guy,
they're gonna see it.
They're gonna see that,
Yep.
and you can
That's
transfer
what
up.
shown. So man, we're gonna definitely have that. So what we're doing here at the bowl game is just going to definitely be giving guys all of the new opportunities that's out here, all of the new information, and now with the information they can make the best decision. They can be mindful of what's going on, even if their parents didn't know, now they know. You know,
Right.
even if their coaches didn't know about some of these new things going on, even if you and I don't know about it, because they're changing these rules yearly. Now it's happening even faster. It's happening right after the season. So if there is some of those things put in place, those college coaches will have that information. They'll be able to give it to those guys right there on the spot, and they'll be able to, be able to take their futures moving forward, in the route that they want to go.
Well, if you're interested in having your child participate in our camp on December 30th, download our app, and on the top left-hand corner there's a tab called Football Camps. In that folder is the application to the camp. Just click on that, fill out the application, and Coach Kramer will have your information.
Definitely download that app, because we're going to definitely have some things brewing for the rest of this season right here. We're going to talk about these guys, and as these guys keep committing, we are filling these rosters up fast right now.
Yeah, the app's complete. It's updating daily.
Yeah, we're going to talk about a few of them right now. But definitely, if you want to be involved, staying in the know, you would definitely want to have the app. Check out the website, because we got a lot of things that we finna have going for the second half of the season, leading up to the bowl game.
I want to give a big shout out real quick to Ultimate Apparel, Terrence with Ultimate Apparel. We want to thank him for sponsoring the bowl game and everything you do for Gridiron Football. Thank you, Ultimate Apparel. If you haven't had a chance, go check them out. They're Ultimate Apparel on their website. We'll have a link in the description below. We'll be right back after this quick message.
Say a lot of things, man. They helped me out with a lot of things. They helped me out to play football, to actually, I ain't have no scholarship, no team looking at me, and then went to Louisiana College camp. Coach Haney came up to me and told me that I got a man looking for you. Talked to Coach Ross, and on the spot got an offer, and it was a blessing, and got to play in the All-Star game after that. It was good. They put me in the magazine. And, I'm just blessed to have some people that are really looking up to me.
When I got the invite to the bowl game, super stoked, not sure what it was going to entail. And I went to a couple camps in the summer, and I found out a couple of my friends were going to go. I went just because I knew some people. I figured I'd get myself out there. And I went, I met so many new friends, so many people I still keep up with. And then as a result of the bowl game, I had more college coaches look at me. This is probably the most fun football game I've played in my life in high school. And as a result, college coaches came, looked at me, and I got offered to the school that I'm going to now, Arkansas Tech. And all thanks to Louisiana Gridiron Football. Recommend going.
I want to thank Louisiana Gridiron Football. It was a great experience for having CJ there. I feel that CJ got the opportunity to showcase his talent at another level with different athletes across the state of Louisiana, and it was a great experience for him. He got to stay away from home for the first time to get a feel of how it would be if he was to get a scholarship in college to play at a different level. He connected with other students that he shared some of his stories with, and they're still connected today. It was an experience that he'll never forget, and this experience we'll never forget, and we're very grateful for it. Thank you, Louisiana Gridiron.
It's been a great experience the last 2 years, getting a chance to coach in the LGF bowl game. We've had 5 kids from here had an opportunity to play in the game. We had a kid to get a scholarship from here, and there have been numerous kids across the state that I've got a chance to coach who have signed, and it's just been great, and I hope it continues.
I had a great time at the bowl game, and I had a great time meeting new people and meeting some really good talent from across the state and just competing with them and against them.
And what are some of the things that Louisiana Gridiron Football has helped you out with?
Oh, it definitely helped me getting looked at, because I come from a small school, not a lot of looks, not a lot of heads turning my way, so it really helped open doors for me.
And where are you going to college at?
From Louisiana College.
All right, so the LGFL has been a great beneficial to the state of Louisiana and the High School Football Association. It's something that you can definitely say has been a tremendous program, tremendous game, and it has really benefited a lot of these young athletes that would have not had those opportunities and those second chances to be able to go and play collegiate ball. And I'm greatly appreciative that they had me a part of the coaching staff and that I was able to be a benefit to those kids' lives also, and know that they are better off moving forward as athletes and as young men.
All right, welcome back. I'm Andy Bryson with Gridiron Football, joined here with the man.
Marcus Randall, and we're in the building, man. So we're going to jump right into some of these guys that's already committed. Like we left off, basically saying that this bowl game thing is filling up faster than all of the rest of the years. I think just because of the opportunities. I think a lot of these guys have seen us on the circuit last spring in 7-on-7, so a lot of guys recognize it.
Well, I think a lot of guys recognize because we're at all these games every week.
Right. And they definitely want to have a chance to be able to come out here amongst the best of the best in Louisiana, showcase their talent, not only for themselves, but for the school that they're coming from, and all those different things right here, giving them that last high school feel before they bounce on off to college ranks.
Well, let's talk about the top two guys, the two quarterbacks. We had a commitment last night from Zion Chris, and we got Ethan Frey.
Yeah, man. Those are in my opinion, two of the top 2022 guys coming out. I know we got Walker Howard out there, and you got Libby that's at Calvary Baptist. But definitely these two guys ranked either right there with them, or maybe in somebody's eyes,
I know you're saying somebody,
but we got two great quarterbacks. That's what you're looking for when you start talking about building bowl games. You definitely want to have those signal callers in there, those guys that's been there, those top guys. Those are the guys that the receivers want to see who you got in those positions, who you got to have throwing the ball to me, who you going to have, running these offenses to make sure that the game is a game. And we got two of the top dogs in the state in this.
We got two top guys. So Ethan's committed to LSU, and Zion Chris is committed to University of Louisiana.
Yep.
When you talk about the two top dogs, those are two top dogs.
Yeah, and Zion Chris leading Madison Prep. He led them last year. He was an all-state guy. He was the MVP of the state championship game last year, leading his team, and he's back this year, senior season, doing some of the same things that we saw him doing last year. They're 5-0 right now, beating big-time teams. He actually had a head-to-head showdown with Walker Howard and STM, and it went down to the wire, and he pulled it out right there up at the end, leading his team down on that game-winning drive to win the game. Seen him against Southern Lab do the same thing, a tight game against a good Southern Lab team, and at the end he just kind of just wheeled his team to the victories. And over the last couple of games, you just seen blowouts like the one we saw last night that we was at. You just seeing blowout wins, and I look forward to seeing that for the rest of this season throughout the playoffs from Zion Cruz.
And then you look at Ethan Frey, exact same thing, all-state selection quarterback. Again, every time he's into the game, he's having a blowout game. I was at the Rose Pine St. Mary's game a few weeks back, and everybody in Rose Pine was like, man, I don't know if we can win this game. They won that game by 40 points. So when you see Ethan and Frey in a game, you've got a signal call, you've got a general behind it, a general in that pocket. You got somebody that can command that team, command that huddle. He has a big arm. We had a chance to work him out over the summertime. In fact, do you remember what you said when we soon got in the car and we drove back? I've been comparing him to I first saw him his freshman year out there, competing with Seth Ducote with him. He just took over the starting range his sophomore year. Went back and saw him his sophomore year, and then saw him again his junior year, and the kid was growing like 4 or 5 inches. And I just saw that arm strength. He doesn't flip those hips like you'd like on a prototypical quarterback or a pocket quarterback. But he's doing everything upper body wise. He's throwing that ball. He looks like John Elway. I actually put up for John Elway film, and I'm like, man, that ball coming out with a zing to it. We went to the Rose Pine. We worked him out. Do you remember what you said in the car when we got back?
I can't remember, but I know I can remember that workout. And he had his guys out there and him throwing and me putting him through those series of throws and drops and just throwing at different spots on the field and being able to see his stature, how tall he looked out there just throwing the ball. And me just imagining it right now, almost like a Peyton Manning, just a big field general out there throwing the ball. He can hit all the spots. Like you said, big, strong arm. He's a baseball guy. Big, strong arm, and as I've seen this year, Nah, he's not Peyton Manning because he couldn't run too as well.
Yeah, he's getting about 100 yards a game rushing as well.
Right.
It's hard to bring down a 230 pound.
Remind me, what did I say about him after we worked?
You said I was underselling him.
Oh, maybe so.
And we're comparing somebody to John Elway, and I'm underselling him. I'm like, oh crap, okay. I'm saying #1 overall pick in 4 years, but I'm underselling that. So, but anyways, that's the two quarterbacks we got. We got the #1 dual threat quarterback in Zion Chris, who's averaging 100-something yards a game rushing, and 300 yards a game passing, 300 to 400 yards a game passing. You got the #1. I think in my opinion, the #1, and it's no disrespect to Walker Howard. I've followed Walker Howard since his 8th grade. But I think Ethan Frey is a bigger prospect than Walker Howard. Personal opinion, it's personal preference. That's just where I'm at. I like Walker, but I like Ethan Frey. If I'm coaching, I'd rather have Ethan Frey just because his size, what he brings to the table. He's raw. Like I said, he's not flipping his hips like you'd like, but with that zing he has, that strength, he flat foot can throw that ball 40 yards accurately. You can't ask for much better than that.
Yep.
And then you put a little coaching behind him. I think he wins out in the fall camp.
There we go, man. That's to be seen. But we know we got 2 for the game, right?
We know we got them 2.
Ready to go, man. Moving right ahead. We just move to the defensive side, guys that'll be trying to stop these guys from throwing 40 and running for these yards.
And this one here, you saw personally a couple weeks ago.
Harvey, who will go. That's another one that we got that's committed in
from West Monroe.
Defensive end, man. I've seen him personally. We played against West Monroe week 4, and this guy had to have 3 or 4 sacks. He gave us pressure all game long. Saw him prior to that, as we were watching film, he's been giving offensive tackles fits all year long, and he's playing like a grown man coming off the edge, and I look forward to seeing him again in person down there for the bowl game.
Right, and he's one of the top pass rushers in the state of Louisiana. And he's committed to the game. It's going to be a big deal. He's 6'4", 247. So another big-time prospect. We talked about the big quarterbacks. Well, you got it at almost every level. We got big-time prospect at every level. So this guy here is a big-time prospect at the defensive line. Another guy's going to give these offensive linemen, we're going to talk about it in just a second, a fist.
Who is that? Chris Simmons coming from the
Chris Simmons, the other opposite side. Yeah,
the opposite side, yeah.
He's a converted wide receiver.
So, man, so we took the ride after down there, took the Quincy, and we seen that, and they were bouncing back from the storms and different things, and Coach was just, he elated to show us all the different things that they have been putting into play. The brand new weight room down there, and
he said the whole city's coming together behind the program. They want to make those kids feel special and help those kids excel, not just in the in the classroom, but in the
outside of it. So Chris Simmons gave us a great testimony, talked about how he came in, wanted to play on the offensive side of the ball, kind of was stubborn about it, and he finally made that switch last year, became an all-state guy. Seeing him making giving quarterbacks fits game in and game out, and he's back on that same track this year. I'm excited to see how he finished this year out, but he's been balling. He's going to be in the game this December, and his list is piling up with great prospects all over.
Well, and everybody we mentioned before has been an all-state player, by the way.
Yep.
So if you want some good football, this is everybody we mentioned. All 4 of these guys have been all-state players.
It's going to be a game.
It's going to be a game.
Yes, indeed.
So let's go back to the offensive side of the ball real quick. And who's going to be blocking these guys?
Okay.
I get big Bo Stampley from Oak Grove, Louisiana.
Yes,
I
indeed.
saw him his freshman year when they was playing against White Cows in the state championship. I was like, man, that's a big kid. And all of a sudden, you go to his sophomore year, they're winning state championship. Their junior year, he's winning state championship. Now he's his senior year, and I think they're going to be back in it again for Oak Grove. So another big-time prospect, 6'4", 320 pounds. I think he's rated 3 or 4 star. I have him rated in my system as a 4-star prospect. I think he rates by Rivals or Scout, I think 3 or 3-star prospect. So, but this guy's a big-time prospect. I think he's an FBS guy. Can't say enough about this guy.
Big-time guy.
He plays with the right pad height. He uses his hands well. He's got a big, strong base where he can just. He's a dozer.
Well, coming into these kind of games, again, people want to know before we can get these quarterbacks in, who's going to be blocking for me? Who's going to be holding these guys up? So we definitely want to go out and get some of the best, and getting these guys to commit early, letting these guys know that they're going to have the protection that they're looking for. Like you said, Big Bo been doing this for years and years now. He's a vet at it. Man, we want to definitely have him in there and showcase his talent and be able to use him and kind of stop some of these guys like Brock Harvey and those guys.
All right. And you got another big offensive lineman, Adam Botley from Oberlin High School. He's rated. He's this at 6'5", 308. In high school right now, he's playing at the tackle spot, but I think in this bowl game, he's going to be playing guard, because in college, I think he's more of a guard type player, just because he's got a wide frame on him, he's got wide hips, his feet are a little slow, but I think with his explosion, his power, he's able to overcome that. So I think in the college level, he's going to be a right guard or a left guard, and that way he can give that run blocking ability up front. Because you get behind a wide body like that, those running backs get low and get skinny in those holes, he's going to make for him.
Definitely, that's another big pickup for us, man. Another big lineman in there that's going to be able to, run block and pass block. By him playing tackle, that is giving him some of the agility and some of those things that's going to help him after he moved to that guard spot, or if he does move to that guard spot.
Now, he's the first one that's not been an all-state selection so far. He was an all-district selection last year, but that's because he's from Oberlin High School. Find that on the map somewhere.
Yes, indeed.
But this guy's a big-time prospect. I can see him going to the FCS level and playing at a McNeese or Northwestern State or Southeastern. But he's that big frame guy we've been looking for. Moving over to the tight end spot, I got to mention my boy Cole Donahue from Rose Pine.
Rose Pine.
And the reason
another
is
one that we saw.
But he's one that you marked by his route running ability.
Definitely.
I saw him against 2 times this year. I saw him play against Oberlin as well as St. Mary's. Against St. Mary, he has 6 catches for 3 touchdowns and 179 yards. He balled out in that game.
Yeah. I could definitely see it, because when we was out there throwing routes, he was running routes. He looked physical. He was great route running. I think he took his shirt off so you could see his physique. Man, he put his time in the weight room, and he's been doing great this season, and probably gonna continue to have that. And he got a great quarterback throwing him the football. So I mean, he got all the right things working for him.
He's about a 4.7 40 guy. So I see this guy again. I see Cole playing at the FCS level. He may end up signing at a D2, but I see him playing at the FCS level, just because of the number of scholarships available. But Cole is a big time prospect. I'm looking forward to see what he does in the college level once he gets to that level and starts getting those fall camps. And they put him in the weight room. He's already 6'3", 325-pound tight end. So I want to, in the highlights you guys are watching right now, I'm sure you're seeing him throw guys off of him. He's throwing DBs on the ground and running in for touchdowns. So I mean, this guy is a big physical tight end. He's also good in the blocking schemes. You're going to see it. I've seen. I don't know if you have any highlights of that right now, but I know as a tight end, he's up in the line blocking those defensive ends. Yep. Those blitz guys. The other tight end I want to talk about is Chad Woodson from Kenner Discovery. PJ Sprunk, his head coach, we had him in.
Had him in it.
So he can't talk. He can't say enough good stuff about Chad. Chad's another big time prospect. He's got being looked at by FCS schools.
Okay.
I know Southeastern's looking at him, and Nichols is looking at him. He's 6'2", 230. Another big physical tight end that can stretch the field in the end zone. Another one of those guys you want on your team as a quarterback. I'm sure you don't know nothing about that, right?
Definitely, man. You want to have that guy, that big target guy, that could either be checked out or that can stretch the field and give the defensive backs, matchup problems. So when you have those guys and you seeing them now, not only playing down in the 3-point stand, they're being flexed out now. They're being flexed out to the outside. So tight ends are not your normal tight ends now. They are guys like Donahue and like the other guys that we're seeing now, being able to do multiple positions, be in the hip positions and motion over now, do a whole bunch of different things. So having that guy is almost like your switch arm at night, man. He can block, he can slip out for passes, and you can use him in a whole bunch of different ways. So this is going to be a real good one, man. We got some tackles in here, some O-line, we got D-linemen in there, we got 2 great quarterbacks, got some tight ends, some big targets. And
one more guy I want to talk about.
Who is it?
Middle linebacker Garrett Dubois from St. Edmunds High School. So me and Coach Kramer, we went over to St. Edmunds last week. We saw St. Edmunds take on Livonia High School. Garrett was all over the place. I mean, the guy's he made some really good hits in that game. Sounds like some shotguns going off out on the field. He's a good hitter. He's a good, solid hitter.
Right.
He's not jumping at somebody's knees. He's actually bringing the
near
wood.
Leg, near shoulder.
He's bringing that wood.
Right.
He was all over the place last week. I mean, I lost count after I think 13 tackles in that game. So I mean, this guy's an every down linebacker. This guy can drop back into coverage and come up. I mean, he's a little undersized for the FBS ranks. He's 5'11", about 190. But his footwork, his tackling ability, his playing ability separates him from the pack, I think. And I'm looking forward to see what he does against the best players in the state of Louisiana in December.
Okay, man, well, there it is, man. We got the guys, and man, we have more guys coming out. And we're going to be doing these updates of just, other guys that's been committed and that's been highlighted, week in and week out leading up into this bowl game. So, man, we definitely, if you're out there and you've already got your invitation, you might want to hurry up and jump on it. As you see, this thing is piling up right now. And if we overlooked you, what can they do? If we haven't sent them, and if somebody balling right now,
their head coach needs to contact you or myself.
Okay, they need to get it into
their head coach
let us know. If we don't know about you, then you out here balling right now, and you playing at a different level than you've done in the past, and we need to know. Then they definitely need to get that information into us so we can see if we can, possibly get one of them spots in there for them.
Right. But 2 years ago, we had a young man from St. Aug. He was 5'9", 280 pounds. Coach CJ called me up probably a dozen times. Please get this kid in the game. He's earned his spot. He's earned his spot. So we went ahead and gave him the offer because the offensive coordinator's calling us. So I would say, okay, we'll do it. So we did that. He came into Louisiana College. He balled out every single play, every practice. Coach Charles offered him to come play at Louisiana College. The kid broke down and started crying on the spot. Come to find out, his mom had cancer, was put on hospice like a few weeks earlier. He went home and told his mom, I got a spot to play college football. She died like 2 days later. So that's the type of kid that we're looking for. Somebody, I mean, even if you might not be a little undersized. We're looking for the guy that has that heart, that desire, that there's more to it than just going out there and having big numbers on a Friday night. We know a lot of guys got big numbers on Friday nights, but never gonna play it down in college. Numbers don't mean everything. It's what kind of how big your heart is. How big is the desire to play? Because if you get that desire to play, you get the desire to do your homework. You get the desire to get that A. You get the desire to go study. You get the desire to go work out when it needs to be working out. You get the desire to go be in the gym. You get the desire to ask that coach, what I got to do to get better? That's that desire we're looking for here.
Definitely, and that's next level guys. So when you start talking about that, I mean, everybody don't possess those things, but that's why the guys go to that next level. So we want to definitely highlight those guys, and if we miss them, like we said, man, we want to definitely get them in. Ain't no guarantee we're going to get them in, but at least
there's only 120 spots.
At least that we can know about them, and we be making do, some other things to kind of help those guys.
So if you got your invitation, there's only 120 spots. The guy that a lot of these guys are already filling up. We're only bringing in 4 quarterbacks. We only mentioned 2. We're going to mention a couple more next week. So make sure you get your invitations in. Once the quarterback spot's it, there's no more.
Right.
There's only 4. We want to make sure everybody gets a chance to play. There's only 10 running backs. That's 5 per team. So if you're not one of the 10 running backs to get your paperwork in, well, guess what? It sucks. Yep. It is what it is. We only bringing in 20 receivers. That's 10 per team. If you don't get your receiver spot in, you're not playing receiver in this bowl game. There's only 20 offensive linemen, only 20 defensive linemen. So there's a limited number of spots per position. So if you don't get your paperwork in, the next guy up.
Next one up. Man.
And that's the way it is in college, right?
Yeah,
it's the next guy up. If you're not on your cue and doing what you got to be doing, it's the next guy up mentality.
Yep.
So if you like this show, give us a like or a share, and then let us know in the comments section what you think of how we're doing things. I don't really care what you think about me, but you better not say nothing not mean about this guy. Got to take care of you, buddy.
Already.
But yeah, so thanks for watching. Make sure you go through and download our app, Gridiron Football. It's on Android and Apple. Another big shout out to Terrence with Ultimate Apparel for sponsoring this year's bowl game. And if you're in Hammond, be ready for a showdown. We're bringing the wood this year.
Yes, indeed. Man.
All stops are out.
Yep, there it is. So, man, we'll see you guys in a week or so for another Round the Corner and another update where we are, district play and bowl game.
Thanks for watching.